Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic January and I hope you're keeping nice and safe. The nice and safe bit, I mean, and the fantastic January, I'm pretty sure nobody has ever said those words ever. Because is it me or does January feel like it's like a million days long? Like I can't believe it's already the 385th of January. It's just a miserable month, isn't it? So I've got some stuff today which I want to talk about, and it's actually really, really worrying. And it's quite upsetting, to be honest. I had someone message me today about it, and they're happy for me to talk about it, providing obviously I keep everything anonymous, which is something I'm getting quite good at. So, as well as that, we've got some funny stories, we've got some funny bits, we've got some stuff relating to death, because who doesn't love a good death story? But it's less to do with death itself and more like more hunger at scenes of crime and, sudden deaths. But right before we get into that, I just want to tell you that I have a new YouTube channel called Shift Proof. The link to that will be in the description of this video, and it's a dedicated YouTube channel where I talk about emergency services stuff. I talk about shift worker stuff, talk about mental health, and there's also me doing a lot of challenges as well. So a lot of physical feats, a lot of physical challenges. Um, because also on there is me doing the job related fitness test, the bleep test. And it's something which you can work to, you can go along with it. And it goes from 0 all the way up to 9.4. It's me doing the bleep test all the way up to 9.4. And a friend of mine actually messaged me and said it was really useful because when we think of the bleep test, we think of 5.4 and we put this massive ceiling on the top of it. So they said it was really nice seeing 5.4 and then some, knowing that 5.4 isn't this massive mountain. It is very doable. And seeing you do it has made me think, oh, okay, well, if you can get to 9.4, ARV level, then I can get to 5.4 frontline response level. Also, they said that listening to the beeps in the ear while they were working really helped because a lot of the time it's not necessarily the physical aspect of the fitness test, it's the beeps too. Also, I want to announce that I do have a shift community. It's called Shift Proof. It's a community of people which is growing, and in that we put all sorts of good stuff in there too. There's also the option if you wanted to work with me one to one, if you wanted to lose weight, get fitter, get stronger. It's so because I'm currently doing online coaching too. So if you want online coaching and anything else, by all means, join the Shift Proof community. It is all linked in the description of this video, and I'm going to stick a QR code on the screen too as well with that. There's also a free resource which you can get, which is 14 ways in 14 days to improve your life as a shift worker. And for 14 days, you'll get an email a day off me, and it will all just have lots of practical, useful advice which you can get. And it's like I say, it's completely free. So, all that good stuff is in the description of this podcast. It's all in the description of the video. And like I said, you will find things. You can click on the QR code or scan the QR code on screen now. If you're watching me on your telly, if you are watching me on your telly, hello. God, I've had too much coffee already. So, Surrey Police have decided to fuck over their long-standing police officers, as someone has sent me this today. Dear residents, couldn't even be bothered to put down the people's names. There's 25 families who work for the police, who work for Surrey Police, affected in this. So, dear resident, following the issuing of a Section 21 eviction notice by our landlord Fidium, I thought it was important to reach out to you regarding the situation. Couldn't even be bothered putting down the person's name, but okay. We do not underestimate the potential impact this decision may have on you and understand that you may have concerns and questions in relation to the decision. Well, yeah, because basically what a Section 21 notice is they're currently going to be outlawed too from May. They're going to be outlawed. So it seems like they've gone, we need to get this done very quickly. And a Section 21 notice is a no fault eviction, basically saying, we want the house back. We're going to kick you out. Tough shit. See you later. It is the ambition of the force and the police force and crime commissioner to provide and potentially grow the temporary and subsidised housing stock available for employees who are early in their service and meet our eligibility criteria. Right, okay, so from my understanding of this so far is they're kicking out officers and police staff who have lived in these houses for many years, contributed to the service and the well-being and safety of the public in the area. And the reason why these police houses have been issued is because Surrey is a very expensive place to live. So what they're doing is they're now saying, we don't want you. Thank you for your service, but we don't want you in these houses anymore. We instead want newer officers who cost less money to take up your old house. Our ability to progress this program of activity is, however, limited due to the passing of the Renters' Right Act. While it brings many benefits to private tenants, it limits how tenanted properties are managed within the police estate. As such, the difficult decision, I'm sure it was incredibly difficult that you've had to do this, has been made by the Police and Crime Commissioner and the chief officers from Surrey Police following legal advice to regain possession of the tenanted properties within the estate. I want to share that this decision was not made lightly, which is why extended notice periods were requested for all of those impacted. A police officer, max, earns about 40, 50 grand a year. My understanding is in Surrey, a mortgage or renting of a 2 to 3 bedroom house is about £3,500 a month. Hence why these properties were set up to allow people who wanted to give to the public and give back to the people of Surrey the ability to do so without it costing them everything that they have. I'm sure that this was a difficult decision made by people who are on probably six figures a year and do not have to worry about potentially becoming homeless because they know they own their home in their very nice part of Surrey. And the whole part of it saying the Renters' Right Act essentially says soon this will become illegal and we can't do it after May, which is a problem. So we want to kick you out now. Fidium, as your landlord, will be able to answer any questions about your lease and have provided you with information signposting you to a number of external services who may be able to support you this time. How's about not make your staff homeless? How's about that? In addition, we'd like to remind you of the various services also available through our Wellbeing Hub and the support you can access through Union and Police Federation if you are members. Right, okay. Oh, just speak to your line manager about it. Yeah, yeah. What, are they gonna let me move in with them? No. Right, well, it doesn't mean anything. This is absolutely disgusting that Surrey Police are treating their officers like this. You may wish to inform your line managers that these notices have been served to you, and I encourage you to speak with them so they can provide any appropriate support locally. The new eligibility criteria for subsidised housing will include officers or staff who are transferring into the force, have less than 3 years of service, do not own another property, and have a single income of less than £40,000 or joint income of less than £80,000. Kind regards. Kind regards. I hope you fucking sleep well at night, mate, because you've gonna put 25 people, 25 families with kids out on the street. And that's utterly reprehensible that that is happening. What kind of world do we live in where we're now looking at the people who protect us and keep us safe? The irony that the people who are now going to be made homeless are the ones who have allowed this person to live in such a safe area that they're able to even make this decision. It's absolutely disgusting. When we talk about police retention and we talk about wanting to keep officers happy and morale, and senior officers going, oh, we do care about our officers. Clearly not, because if the bottom line of the force looks better, you'll throw whoever you want under the bus. A person who sent this to me, like they told me that there are people who are involved in this who are, some people are pregnant, some people have low, they have like disabled children. It's utterly disgusting. And what they're going to do? They want people to move in who have less service than them in order to save the force money. Thank you for everything what you've done, but now you can get out. It's wrong. It's utterly disgusting. Criteria was as long as you're working for Surrey Police and you don't have any misconduct or anything like that, then you can live there. Due to how expensive it is to live around there, um, and they literally got this letter through without any warning. They've tried to contact the people involved and they haven't heard anything back. Um, Expensive local housing, there's no consultation. It's like the force don't care about them, which I can completely understand why. Some people have emailed and messaged the chief commissioner, the crime commissioner, and the chief con. They've not getting any information what's going on. The federation, the police federation who are there to support officers, has said it's nothing to do with them because it's technically not a policing matter, which I would argue strongly against. And the interesting thing is that professional standards, now bear in mind, they're not doing anything wrong, the police force, by doing this, apparently, but the professional standards department have said you can't speak to people about what's going on. Well, why? If it's nothing, if we're not doing anything wrong and it's all above board, why can't we speak to people about it? Um, this is obviously just after Christmas as well. Um, and it's, yeah, there's people who have kids in schools, local schools, even houses. You know, the local houses are super expensive, and if people wanted to get, if even if people wanted to move an hour and a half away, so their daily commute would be an hour and a half, this is still extortionate. The prices. I think it's absolutely reprehensible. I think it's totally disgusting, and this needs to be shouted about. This needs to be banged on the drum. Like a Section 21 notice is going to be outlawed very soon because they're immoral, because they're not okay. So the police, the people who are the bastions of fairness and efficacy and taking care of their staff, allegedly, are going to be making 25 families homeless. Sorry, police, you should be utterly ashamed of yourself for doing this to your officers. People who have put blood, sweat, and tears on the line, people who've suffered trauma, emotion turmoil, cancelled rest days, cancelled birthdays, cancelled Christmas, missed significant holidays, people who have worked with you for fucking decades are now going to be homeless because you want to save money. How dare you? How dare you do this? How dare you spit in the face of the people who want to look after, who you claim that you look after? How dare you piss on them and tell them it's raining? It's wrong. And at the end of this, I don't care if it's politics or it's this or it's that. At the end of it, we've got 25 families. We've got 25 families. That's an estate. That's an entire estate of people with jobs, with, you know, care and responsibilities, with children, with schools and friends at schools and people in the local communities who look after each other are now being told that they're going to be homeless within a few months. They're going to have to move hours away if they want to stay where they are. And it's to save money. That's what I'm getting from it. It's to save money. I'm so sorry for the people who this is happening to. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I've got some other bits here, some more light-hearted stuff. So let's have a look. Um, well, I'll say light-hearted stuff. There is, unfortunately, there's been an officer who's lost a life, and this was from the Rest Days Cancelled Instagram page. Great page if you don't follow it. All at West Yorkshire Police Federation are devastated to report the off-duty death of our colleague, Sergeant Colleen Meller, last week. Our thoughts are with her family, friends, and close colleagues at this time, and we are supporting them as best we can. Colleen will be remembered on the Wakefield and Leeds district teams as a popular colleague, and she will be much missed. Officers and colleagues, officers and staff members who are struggling should know that they are not alone and that there are people who are there to help. This includes Samaritans, Oscar Kilo Mental Health Lines, and others. Thank you very much for your service. Um, Thank you very much for your service, uh, Colleen. It's awful, and I don't want to speculate how this person's died. I don't want to say it's one way or another, but either way, like someone's lost a life. Someone's lost a life in the line of duty. Well, who is part of the Blue family. Someone who dedicated years of their lives to protecting and in service of others. And people want to stand on the sidelines and want to scream, "Oh, cops are this, cops are that." You have no fucking idea what police officers have to deal with. You have absolutely no idea what cops have to deal with. It's awful. It really is. It really is so sad when somebody passes away. And we know that I'm not, of course, I'm not saying that this is the case, but I know that police suicides is obviously a massive issue. Up to 30 officers a year end their lives. And this is why we wear this patch. That's why we wear this patch, thin blue line patch. It's not a symbol of tyranny. It's not a gang badge. It's not an us and them. It's a symbol of the people who are the line between order and chaos. Fucking hell. Rest in peace, love. Thank you for everything what you're doing. Thank you for your service. And I'm and I didn't know this officer, but I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of very wonderful things to say about them. And this is the thing. This is the fucking thing. The organizations, the leaders at the top want to say, oh, well, what's best for the organization? Let's make a load of cops homeless. But we put welfare in place. We put welfare in place. Oh, we've ticked this box. Oh, we said speak to your line manager. Oh, we said speak to the Fed. Yeah, what help are they? And then when somebody is really, really struggling significantly and they lose their life in whatever way, the police force go, oh, we're really sorry that this has happened. Like, you're part of the problem. You're causing this issue. Terrible leadership, terrible people at the top, causing all sorts of mayhem to the people who put their lives on the line every single day to make sure we're safe. And the people want to criticize them and condemn them. Like, I've worked with so many great cops. I've worked with some shit ones, but I've worked with majority of them were brilliant. And it's really sad and upsetting when we see things like this happen. Really sad and upsetting. Um, okay, so I got a message through. So I got a call to an antisocial behaviour job. Perps on legislation charged with me. Oh, that was it. They charged me with a wine bottle, and I took him to the ground. And the sergeant, the gaffer, was like, "That was too rough. I don't approve of head height lunges." Right? A man ran at me with a wine bottle, gripped, but was gripped by the neck. Oh yeah, I'm ready to swing. So yeah, he had it in his hand, ready to swing. The salt in the wound was I was double crewed, and my other officer, my oppo, didn't jump in at all until we were on the ground and then secure the bottle. Oh, thanks for that. Right, so basically, got a cop here who's someone's charged at him with a wine bottle. They've took him to the floor. Someone's gone, bit rough that. Well, it was either take him down and get my head smashed in, mate. Oh, by the way, oppo, thank you for your help with that. Bollocks. Um. Okay, so what's this one? When an officer is currently having welfare meetings to check his welfare, as a force, should you take him into one and get him to confirm he's doing better, feels like he's getting there, and then tell him someone has made a complaint about him and he's got to go to PSD? That's bullshit as well. That's bullshit. Hi, we know that you're really struggling and that you're having a lot of issues with your welfare, but while you're here, just so you know, someone's putting a complaint about you, and now professional standards are now involved. Oh, amazing. Thanks. That makes me feel better. Appreciate that. Bollocks. This is a very ranty episode, in case you haven't noticed. Oh, this one. This one's good. And I may have done this myself. I once called the probationer on the landline at her desk. It was the second week in the job. Oh, you're just prime target, aren't you? I pretended to be from the divisional coordination unit and told her we were carrying out an audit on the canteen cutlery in the division. Would it be possible for her to go into the kitchen and count all of the knives, forks, and spoons, put it into an email, and send it over to a fake email address that I gave her? Seconds after putting the phone down, no consultation with the muster group. In silence, she got up with a pen and paper and set about her tasking. This is mean. It was only as she sat down to compose the email I noticed the email I'd passed was actually in use. I came clean and she took it well. She is now an outstanding cop and a quality source of banter in the team. So this person has tried to piss about, has given this probationer a dodgy email. Turns out the dodgy email was actually a real email. They've sent off these. We have 6 spoons, we have 12 knives. I can tell you now, in my old force, a fork was sacred. People brought in their own knives and forks, but a fork was sacred. You had 100 spoons, you had 20 knives, but a fork, that was like rocking horse shit. Like, that was really, really tough to get hold of. If you found a fork, it was like, "Oh my god, I found a fork." Otherwise, you'd have to eat it with your hands and, wouldn't be very good. Um, but yeah, it's all bands. It's all bands. It's all fun. All fun. Um, Morning, Jay. I was on scene guard over the night shift. Not a bad one. Empty house with a fire going. That sounds all right. Had a sudden death with ambulance working on the deceased. Instead of helping, they began praying out loud before being told to shut the fuck up by the paramedics. Praying out loud. like, like you're supposed to be helping. You're sup- I mean, maybe they thought they were, but you're supposed to be helping. You're supposed to be there helping these paramedics do their job to preserve life and to look after them. And you're there doing the fucking Our Father who art in heaven. I mean, some people might say that's helping, other people might say it's a waste of time. I'm not here to judge, but I think that's actually quite funny. I think that's really funny. The best intentions were there. Their intentions were there. You can't fault the officer's intention. They wanted to do help. They wanted to help and support. Might have done nothing, but they wanted to help support. Ha ha ha. So here's another one. Something on one of your posts struck a chord. The bit about chasing targets, figures, and breaking the law to tick boxes. As we know, it does happen. It wasn't like this 11 years ago, but now it's becoming more and more like it. It's depressing. I'm not sure why I'm telling you this, just maybe getting your thoughts on how to let the public know that what's really going on and how badly their services are being compromised by bullshit. Well, I like highlighting issues in the system. I like champion bobbies and looking after cops, but I also like highlighting issues in the system. Um, Stat chasing is a massive issue. Stat chasing creates a lot of unnecessary work. It alienates the public, and it makes cops demoralized, and it creates moral injury. The only people who benefit from stat chasing are the people implementing the quotas, i.e., the bosses at the top, because they want their next promotion, they want their next pay packet, and they want to be able to say, "Look at how fucking good I am," which unfortunately is what happens. Okay, so here's one. I mentioned this briefly at the start, but this is now what I want to talk about. Sudden deaths. Does anybody else, paramedics, firefighters, police, does anybody ever get hungry after dealing with a dead body? I used to get really, really hungry. Somebody says it was a hormone what's released. Other people, I've looked into it. Other people say it's because of the stress to the nervous system. I mean, I never used to really mind a dead body. Maybe there's something a bit fucked up with me, but I never used to mind them. I knew that there were certain cops who hated them. They didn't like going to them. And I never used to mind them. I mean, I've been to more than one in a day before. Which when you say that out loud, like you've seen several dead bodies in a day, and you've also probably seen several in a week, like it does take you do need to have a minute and step back and go, that's not normal. But as emergency services, we can get used to this sort of thing and it becomes normal. But just because it becomes normal doesn't mean it should be treated as normal. So you should always take a minute and look after yourself after you have dealt with a dead body. In particular, if it was a bit of a nasty one, maybe someone's hurt themselves, taking their own lives, and so on. But here's one. It says, I went to one of the most gruesome suicides I've ever been to in my 23 years. Before I got the call, I was just after taking my dinner out of the microwave. After I'd finished the call, I went back to the station, reheated my dinner, and sat down for a while and watched the chase. It's unreal how emotionally cold we can become over the years. And this is the thing what the public don't understand. This is a big thing the public don't understand. Horrific stuff becomes normalized to police officers. So when you're there recording a cop who's maybe arresting somebody for something, or an officer comes to your house and they might seem a bit emotionally vacant, just know you've no idea what that Bobby's just been to. You've no idea what that Bob officer might have just been dealing with. The same with paramedics. People can sometimes come across as cold because of empathy burnout and the reduction over time in how much empathy someone has to give. And it's a survival mechanism. You body and your brain shut off parts of themselves. I used to call it, it was like putting on a mask. It was, you have job mode and then you have real life mode. Real life mode, you're your normal self and everything else, but job mode, you go to work, you deal with horrendous shit all the time. And the two, the two um can get switched off from each other. But the difficulty is when job mode becomes normal mode, when you are exposed to so much bad stuff on a repeated basis that you're no longer able to actually be and act in your normal self. Emotions become numb. Um, the ability to show empathy, even in normal situations, can become quite stifled. You can become quite robotic. It does happen, and it is something. And this officer summed it up perfectly with what they said. It's unreal how emotionally cold we can become over the years. A brutal death, brutal suicide, and you go back to the station and just carry on eating your dinner. Like that's not normal. It isn't normal, but it becomes normal. And this is what we need to understand. And officers and paramedics and frontline service workers need to be able to take that time and actually sit and reflect and go, you know what? I should probably probably process that a little bit. And this is one thing, again, like I said, shift proof community. This is one thing we do in that community. And this is one, I have a therapist who is going to start working with us as well at like discounted rates. Because the support you get in the job is pretty shite. So yeah, and like I said, there's 14 ways in 14 days and shift survival guide. There's loads of good stuff you can get, and like I said, it's all in the description of this podcast. So it's all there to help you, because I recognize the difficulty, recognize the shit what people deal with, and not everybody does. Not everybody does understand that. So I put on, you may have seen this. I put on my social media about deaths, etc. And someone put, yeah, all the time. It's great when nobody is around and you're waiting for the funeral directors and you start eating your sandwiches. You don't mind if I start eating this butty, mate, do you? No, just let me know if you. Oh, it's so bad, so bad. It's like in the Responder. I don't know if you've seen Responder. It's got oh, what's his name? The guy from The Hobbit, dead famous actor, Michael Martin Freeman, that's it, Martin Freeman. Brilliant, brilliant series if you've never seen it. And, yeah, there was a scene in there where he's at a death and there's a dead body on the couch. He's sat there just eating, and the doctor or whoever is comes over and he's like, "Do you think that's appropriate?" And the main character's just there like, "What? I'm hungry. He's dead." It just becomes so normal. But I used to get really hungry. Apparently, so a lot of people messaged me in KFC. Funny enough, the one who was clicked on KFC, a boneless banquet, is often a go-to. So I'd be interested to know, what's your go-to food after dealing with like a death. This is a fucked up conversation. I completely understand that most people watching this will be like, "What on earth are you talking about? This is not okay." But what I'm saying is, this is how normal it becomes. Like I'd come home and my girlfriend would be like, "Oh, what have you done at work today?" And be like, "Oh, I've done this, done that." Well, really, I might have been to two deaths. I might have had a fight with somebody. I might have locked somebody up. I might have driven my car really fast. Um, then gone out to help her try and find a missing kid. Then gone and spoken to somebody whose neighbor has shouted at them. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much what you do in a day, it just becomes normal. Whereas if I went home and I said, like, my girlfriend came home today and said, "I saw a dead body today." I'd be like, "Fucking hell, you all right?" And she'd go, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'd be like, "No, no, let's sit down. Let's sit down and have a minute. That's not okay. That's not normal." But it becomes normal because you get so exposed to it. McDonald's after the mortuary. It's an unwritten rule. All right. I'd like to see that. Okay. Okay, so here's one. So this one isn't about a death. Right, so this one's a bit more of a serious one now. So, um, I've had another involving a woman who coached ice skating, complaining about a male parent filming the coach's routine with another child. Apparently, it's stalking and harassment. It was basically a dad filming from the stands. Again, it was sent for closing and it was reopened. I was told to arrest the dad and I refused. So again, just going back to stat chasing. So what we have is we have someone who coaches and we've got a parent recording their child. They've obviously said, "Oh," I don't know if they said stop doing it or whatever, but I mean, you can record your kid. You can record your kid. That's fine. You can record other people's kids in public. Recording in public is not legal. It's not illegal. It causes an issue like grey area. Like I know people have gone. Um, I want him arrested because he keeps recording my kid in public. Technically not illegal. It's a bit weird, and I wish there was more people could do about it, but it isn't illegal, and the police can't arrest somebody if something's not illegal. But this person is with stat chasing, apparently it's stalking and harassment. One, which one is it? And two, under what grounds? So I was told to arrest the dad and I refused. No, good on you, because you know that it's not okay to do. To be arresting people simply because a crime has been reported or because the bosses have said you have to do it. It's your power. If you don't believe that you can justify it and you don't believe it's proportionate or reasonable, then don't do it. You can't be criticized. You can be criticized, but you can't be pulled in and thrown on an action plan and up for the high jump for not arresting somebody because it's your power. You're responsible for making that decision, rightly or wrongly. It also goes on to say, if I'm honest, mate, the job completely ruined my partner and I for multiple reasons. The public have zero clue what happens behind the scenes. Your own police force will actively try and ruin you with internal investigations. Like I mentioned before, the person who said that they're having issues with mental health, they have a welfare check and then they get told to run an investigation for something. Um, I'm surprised more police officers don't take their own life. That's upsetting. It's utterly broken and nothing will ever bring it back, unfortunately. I laugh now when I was I laugh now when I was so naive. Sorry, I laugh now when I see naive 18-year-olds in police cars because they have no clue what they've just signed up for. It's a real shame as we seem like the only country who treat their own forces this way. Unfortunately, you're wrong there because I had the bloke from America, Joe Swanson, and he said that leadership in the States is dire as well. And I get messages from Australia, I get messages from Canada, I get messages from all over the world saying like police leadership is a massive issue and police support and surely you would think, what I remember being out once and this is when I was in the job and there was a bloke going round saying, um, like well go around, oh he's a drug dealer, he's a drug dealer, someone just walking around like trying to sell drugs and shit. And I remember thinking, why it shows a messed up world when somebody feels more comfortable telling other people they're a drug dealer than somebody saying I'm a police officer. That's fucked up to me because drug dealers ruin communities and ruin lives and contribute to crime. Police officers are the ones who are supposed to keep people safe, and yet it's almost like we view drug dealers better than we do police officers. And I think there's a serious systemic issue in society when that is the case. It's fucking messed up. It is messed up. So here's one. Um, I was asking about I was asking about what kind of jobs have you got in your workload currently? So one said, I once had a job which was a female walking her dog, a male walking his dog, both on leads. The male's dog barks at the female dog. Oh, fuck off. You know where this is going. She fears immediate harm and fear. She calls the police. No details of the male, no information. This was crimed and allocated to me to investigate. I instantly wrote up a rationale and binned it after speaking to the female. The sergeant sent it back to me saying further inquiries needed to be carried out, such as CCTV, ring doorbell footage. I drove down the road and updated saying it's zero CCTV available. 8 years in the job, I'm so glad I'm out. I would hate to say that happens quite a few times. So I had one job once where this shows how bullshit stats can be and how much work they can make for somebody, which is completely unnecessary. So I got a job through saying that so I was walking past the house and the dog ran out. Their dog ran out and he jumped up and it nipped me. It nipped my coat. It ripped my coat. So what I've done is I've knocked on the door and said, "Your dog's just jumped out, ripped my coat." The person's gone, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Here's 100 quid. There you go." And the person's then gone and bought a new coat. Happy days. But the person reported it through to us. I then had to go and speak to the person whose dog had damaged the coat to say, um, this is very important. And the lady was like, "Yeah, yeah, it's all sorted. Like, we bought a new coat, it's fine." Um, This went on for about 4 weeks. I kept on trying to close it because they kept trying to get me to get him to sign a pocket notebook, thingy entry to say, like, a disposal outcome has been achieved, because it gets a stat for the force. So they'd sorted it out themselves, but because it'd been reported to the police wanted to go, "Oh, great, we can get a tick in the box here, make our detections look better." The police had done nothing in this situation. This had been dealt with, completely dealt with, but because somebody contacted the police go, "Oh, great. Even though it's all been dealt with, we can say that we facilitated it and ticked it." And I'm like, Why?" I don't think I ever ended up doing it. And this job just did not die because they kept going, "No, we need this doing. We need this tick in the box. We need this." I eventually just fucking sat on it for so long that the statute of limitations thing disappeared. So after so many months or whatever, I was like, "No, getting rid of it." My sergeant closed it down twice, and the crime recording people would still not close it down as a detected crime or undetected or NFA, because they were adamant they wanted this tick in the box. So two people have had an issue in society. It's been fixed. The police wanted to get a tick in the box, and that took an officer, me, several months to just get it closed down by how much time did they have to pay? Like, how much was that on my salary? How many hours was that of me going back and forth, emails, closing things down, writing things up, fighting back, going, I'm not fucking doing it. Like, I can't remember how we got ended up. I'm pretty sure they didn't end up signing anything. Alleged controlling and coercive behavior because somebody didn't get what they wanted in a divorce. Why is that in my tray? Violence against women and girls, offence, no other reason. It's a civil matter. Yeah, yeah. Someone's saying, I didn't get what I wanted in the divorce, therefore I could talk loads about violence against women and girls. We need to obviously stop violence against women and girls. It's a horrible, horrible thing, but the issue is massively conflated in the police statistics and massively manipulated in police statistics. I've spoken about this quite a bit, so I'm not going to bore you. I probably will do a more bigger deep dive video on this on my main channel, but yes, I'm not going to talk about it on here. Not right now, anyway. All right. So that's it for funny stories. Now, before you go, I want to tell you about a a fucking phenomenal human being. A phenomenal human being. It's not a Bobby either. It's not a Bobby. This is a guy who I know called Ben. Ben is an athlete. Ben had a full hip replacement. He was a high rocks athlete. A full hip replacement. He's in his 30s. Full hip replacement. And he was told after he'd finished his hip replacement, "You'll never be able to perform at the level you used to again because of the amount of strain and stress to your body." He had two choices, Ben. He could have gone, "I accept that, and my athletic days are over," or, "I'm going to prove them wrong." Ben proved them wrong. Oh, and did he prove them wrong? There was actually a video of him on his social media 2 weeks after his replacement, sitting on a box doing the ski erg. So he's there, he's got his arms out, he's doing the ski erg, sat down. Over time, Ben rebuilt the strength in his legs. He had to learn to walk again, how to function properly. He had to learn to walk again. And after 6 months of his full hip replacement, he's just completed a pro high rocks, not just normal ones, what me and you will enter, but a pro high rocks where there's heavier weights, it's more intense, much more competitive. Most people will finish a solo high rocks in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, sometimes even up to 2.5 to 3 hours, because it's that intense and it's that tough. Ben finished not only a pro high rocks, um, a pro single high rocks, he also completed it in an hour and 4 minutes. In 64 minutes, he went from being told he can't compete, being told he has to learn to walk again, to in 6 months of dedication and training and going, "You're not putting me in a box. You're not telling me I can't do something," to completing a extremely physically taxing competition in an amazing time, which most people, even if they were fit and healthy and hadn't had any kind of joint or disability issues, couldn't possibly able to reach. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And as a result of that, seeing that, I've signed up for a 100-mile ultra marathon. I have a 30-mile ultra marathon coming up, but a 100 mile ultra marathon, because I think, well, if my friend Ben can do that, I can do this. And I see so many people who are pushing themselves, going, I've been through the shit. I want to really push myself to show that I'm better than this version of myself I have in my head. I think it's massively, massively inspiring. So, what I'm saying is, you can do so much more than you believe you can. You are amazing. You are a machine. And if you want to put your mind to something and do something, you absolutely can. Don't let people tell you that you can't. Ben had medical professionals tell him that he couldn't do something, and he's shown them all up. He's shown them all that they were wrong because he refused to admit defeat. He refused to admit, you are not telling me that I cannot do something when I know I can. Absolutely inspiring. Absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Jobs Fuck podcast. You have been amazing. You guys stay safe. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow the podcast, please, and check out Shift Proof. I want to help you. You help everyone else who's helping you. I want to help you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Until next time, take care of yourself. See you later.